This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am Hebrew nations. Today we are about to discuss the state of Arkansas, USA. And we are concerned with biblical place names in Arkansas, USA. This is part of a series that we have. And we're going through all of the states in the USA. And we're looking for place names that have some type of biblical connection. And we were suggesting conclusions from these place names, and this is what they are, they're suggestions, and you can take it or leave it, it doesn't really matter. It is interesting, and it might tell us something, and it is educational. It's worth knowing that these place names exist. It's in what is known as the Bible Belt. The ancestors of the people of Arkansas must have had a very strong biblical consciousness, because a lot of place names do have some type of biblical connection, much more than the other states that we have so far looked at. And we think this is interesting, this is of importance. According to the Wikipedia, the present-day population of Arkansas is about 3 million. It is 20% of them are of English ancestry, 15.6% of African American ancestry, 12% Irish, 11% German, 2 French, also almost 2 Dutch, almost 2 Italian, almost 2 Scottish, 1.3 Scotch-Irish. Scotch-Irish may be much higher, because many people of Scotch-Irish descent simply declare themselves to be American, or they say that their ancestors came from Ireland. Anyway, this is what we have. And Arkansas is relatively prosperous. Livestock especially. Livestock products add up to about 63% of the state's agricultural revenue, and about 37% of the state's production is in crops. So this is worth noting. Agriculture is important in Arkansas. We're beginning now to go through the place names of biblical significance in Arkansas. Arkansas County in the east central region, we find Emmanuel. The word Emmanuel means God is with us. See Isaiah 7:14. It is in the book of Isaiah. We have Jacks Bay Landing, and we'll find a lot of places called Jacks or Jacks Bay or Jackson. We won't be able to go through all of the names. If you're interested, you can go to our website where we have an article with a map on this subject, and we list all of the place names that we found. In this talk, we're going to keep it short and try to give a reliable overview. So we won't mention every name, but we'll try and give a general impression. So we have a lot of place names. First of all, we have a lot of place names in Arkansas called Jackson or something similar. Jack is short for Jacob. Jacob was the forefather of the Israelite people. We have a place called Medina. Medina in medieval Hebrew means major capital city, and in modern Hebrew it means the state or country. Also in the Bible it has that meaning. We have Mount Adams. Adams was the first man. We have in Ashley County in the southeast, we have a place called Berea from Berea. There's the head of clans, and the clan names in both Ephraim and in Asher. We have Donby from Dan. We have Millo and Old Millo. Millo is the name of an area in Jerusalem, but it was also a name of a settlement close to Shechem in what is in the so-called West Bank in the territory of Ephraim. We also have a settlement called the Promised Land. Promised Land is a concept borrowed from the Bible and referred to the land of Canaan, the land of Israel. In the north center we have Baxter County. We have a place called Amos. We have another place called Ellis. Ellis is from Eli, he was the high priest at Shiloh in the tabernacle. We have Gamaliel. Gamaliel was the name of a leading rabbinical sage. He is spoken of both in the Talmudic sources and in the New Testament. We have a place called Jordan. The river Jordan runs through the land of Israel. We have Old Joe, a place called named Old Joe. Joe is short for Joseph. We have Benton County in the northwest, where we have Bethel Heights. Bethel was an important settlement, and there were actually two places called Bethel in nation Israel, adjoining each other. One was in Benjamin, the other one was in Ephraim. We have Gallatin. Gallatin is probably a form of Gilead, same as Gallatin in Scotland, and where we have the name Caledonia. Quite a few places in Arkansas are named after Caledonia. We have Nebo, for some reason Nebo, and Pisgah. Nebo and Pisgah are different names for the same area in the regional territory of Gad. It was the region where Moses died, where Moses also saw the Israelites. He saw the future of the Israelites, and he saw the land. He viewed the land from there. And also it was the area where Brit-Am, the evil Brit-Am, was forced to prophesy for the good of Israel. And these prophecies refer especially to the 10 tribes of Israel. And for some reason we have quite a few places in Arkansas, throughout Arkansas, named either Nebo or Pisgah, named after this region. We're in Bradley County in the south. We have Mount Olivet. The Mount of Olivet is in Jerusalem, opposite the Temple Mount. We have Simpson, a place named Simpson. Simpson is a form of the name Samson. Samson was an important hero, a strong man, a judge, and a hero with prophetic qualities, from the tribe of Dan. In the Calhoun County in the south center, incidentally, Calhoun is an important name throughout the USA, especially in the south, but we find it everywhere. Places named after this person, after the clan Calhoun. Calhoun is believed to be the same as Colloquan in Britain, and it originally derived from the Shire of Dunbarton in the lowlands of Scotland. We have a place named Ebenezer. Ebenezer was a place in Benjamin. We have Ellisville, once again from Eli. Eli was the high priest in Shiloh, in Ephraim. Hara, we have a place named Harel. Harel is similar to the Hebrew Har-El, the mountain of God. And also we find people in the state of Israel now named Harel. It's a known surname in Israel. In the northwest of Arkansas we have Dean from Dan, and we have Denver also from Dan. In Clark County in the southwest center of Arkansas we have a place named Bethel. Bethel is from Ephraim and Manasseh, as we mentioned. In Claiborne County in the south center we have Heber Springs. Heber was an ancestor of Abraham. According to some, the term Hebrew derives from Heber. Also a place called Hiram. Hiram was a king of Tyre, of a Phoenician city on the coast of Lebanon in the territory of Ashur. And Hiram was a friend of King Solomon, and he supplied King Solomon with artisans, specialist workmen, and also with the materials for the building of the temple. Also a place named Ida, and Ida is a form of the name Judah. In Cleveland County in the south we have a place named Hebron. Hebron was a major city in Judah. In the south was also the place where David ruled over Israel for the first few years of his reign, for the first 7 years of his reign actually. We also have a place named Kedron. Kedron is another form of Kidron. The valley of Kidron was in Jerusalem. And we have Mount Zion, and also Mount Zion is part of Jerusalem. In the southwest of Arkansas we have the Columbia County. There we have Bethel. Once again another place named Bethel. We have quite a few places in Arkansas named Bethel. We have a place named Damascus. Damascus is the capital of Syria. In ancient times it was also the capital of a Syrian kingdom, but originally it had been bestowed upon the Israelites. It was part of the Promised Land, and technically speaking at least it was in the land of that should have belonged to Manasseh, and at one stage did. We also have a place named Ebenezer. Ebenezer is probably in Benjamin. We have a place called Shiloh. Shiloh was in Ephraim, was the center of Israel for a long time. In the center, to the northwest, we have Conway County, a place named Ada. Ada was the name of a wife of Lamech, who was the father of Noah. Also a wife of Esau was named Ada. We have also a place named Bethlehem. Bethlehem is in Judah. We have a place named Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. We have a place called Lewisburg. The name Lewis is a form of the name Levi. Levi was a tribe of Israel. In the northeast of Arkansas we have Craighead County. Craighead County. And there we have Antioch. Antioch was a place in northern Syria that had originally, or at one stage, belonged to Asher. It was part of the tribal bequeathment to Asher. Later it was settled by elements from Dan, as we have explained in our works. People from Dan went there and they settled in that region. We also have in Davis Spur, the name Davis is a form of David's son, the son of David. David was from Judah and he was the king of all of Israel. The future Messiah will be descended from David. We also have a place named Egypt, and Egypt was a place where the Israelites were sojourned for 400 years and they were oppressed, and then Moses took them out of it. And Egypt is very important in the biblical consciousness. In the northwest we have Crawford County. Crawford County, we have a place named Alma. Alma means a young woman. We have a place named Cain. Cain was the person who killed Abel, the first murderer in history. We have a place named Davidson. Davidson once again means sons of David. And David came from the tribe of Judah. You have Dean Springs and Dean's Market, both from Dan. Or, if not, they can maybe be interpreted in that way, and that is what we are looking for. That is what we are concerned with. Possible associations, because as we explain elsewhere, these two are important and they can tell us something. We have other places, for instance, we have a place named Rena. Rena I don't know what it originally meant, but in Hebrew a similar name means exaltation or rejoicing. We have a place named Rudy, and a similar name, Radai, would also be pronounced like Rudy. It's given to the one of the sons of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David, so this person, Radai or Rudy, was a brother of David, as we see in 1 Chronicles 2:14. In Crittenden County, in the northeast of Arkansas, we have Edmund's son. Edmund is similar to Edom, or related to Edom. Edom was Esau, the twin brother of Jacob. We have a place named Galilee, and Galilee was the north of Israel, meaning the areas of Manasseh, Issachar, Naphtali, and Zebulon. We have a place named Jericho. Jericho was in the territory of Benjamin. We have a place named Marion. It's the form of Miriam. Miriam was the sister of Aaron and Moses. We have a place named Manasseh. Manasseh is a form of the word of the name Manasseh. Manasseh, or Manasseh in spoken Hebrew, was the son of Joseph, and he was a major tribe amongst the Israelites. And today, the USA, the population of the USA, is in effect dominated by descendants of this tribe of Manasseh. And in the northeast we have Cross County, and in Cross County we have Ellis Chapel. It's a form of Eli. MacDonald. MacDonald once again comes from the word Dan, the tribe of Israel. In Dallas County we have a place called Carthage. Carthage was a Phoenician city. In Hebrew, in Phoenician Hebrew, it meant Kartahadata, which is actually a way of saying new city. It's now Tunisia. In Desha County in the southeast of Arkansas we have Beulah Island Landing. Beulah is the name given to the land of Israel at the time of redemption. In Drew County in the southeast with Bethel, and once again we have Beulah. Beulah is a name, once again we will find Beulah several times in Arkansas. And there's a name given to Israel at the time of redemption. We have Dean from Dan, and we have Jerome, a place named Jerome after Jeremiah. We have Lewis, which is a form of Levi, and we have Shiloh, which was in Ephraim. In Faulkner County in the south we have Mount Olive. Mount of Olives was in Jerusalem. In Franklin County in the northwest we have Danning from Dan. We have Jethro. Jethro was a Midianite. He was the father-in-law of Moses. And Jethro, together with his extended family, accompanied the Israelites and joined them in conquering the land of Canaan. And he lived there. He was centered in different areas. Descendants of Jethro were to be found in different parts of Israel. One of them was around the city of Jericho, in the area of Benjamin, and others were further to the north in the Galilee, and also much further northward. Fulton County in the north center we have Salem. Salem is another name of Jerusalem. In Garland County in the center of the southwest we have Jesseville. Jesseville is named after Jesse, the father of David. We have Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor was in the Galilee. It was in the borderline where the territories of Naphtali, Zebulon, and Issachar intersect. In the northeast we have Greene County. Greene County. We have Bethel, and we have another place named Ebenezer. In Hot Spring County In the center to the southeast, we have once again Antioch in northern Syria. We have a place named Donaldson, named after Dan. We have Mount Moriah, which is another name for Jerusalem. In Howard County in the southeast, we have a place named Davis Ford, named after David. We have Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel was in the region of, in the territory of Asher, the tribe of Asher. We have Shiloh. Once again, we have a lot of places named Shiloh in Arkansas. Shiloh was in the area of Ephraim. It was the center of Israel for a long time, and it was where the tabernacle was to be found before, in the period of the Judges, and later before the building of the temple in Jerusalem. In the northeast to the northeast center, we have the Independence County. We have Bethesda. Bethesda was the name of a pool in Jerusalem. It's mentioned in the New Testament. We have Denison's Height, named after Dan. We have Davidiy. Davidiy is similar to Daud in Arabic, which is another way of saying David, the name David. We have Dunnington, named after Dan. We have Jamestown. James is a form of Jacob. And we have Mount Carmel, once again Mount Carmel, and then we have Mount Zion. And Izzard County to the north, we have a place called Mount Olive, once again, and we have Zion, once again. Jackson County, this name Jackson is named after Jacob. We have Denmark. Denmark was named after Dan. We have Jackson Port and Johnstown. The name John is another form of the Hebrew name Yohanan. Yohanan was one of the rulers of Israel in the time of the Maccabees. In the southeast center of Arkansas, we have Jefferson County, where we have Donaldson. Once again, Donald is named after Dan. We have Ellison, named after Eli. And in the northwest center, we have Johnson County. We have Edna. Edna in Hebrew means sexual delight, pleasure, youthfulness. And it is mentioned in the Bible. Apparently the people who knew the Bible or knew Hebrew. This is what, because in Hebrew this word has significance, and is what Sarah, when she was at the age of 90, that she would bear a child, and she had already passed the way of women. She had already finished her reproductive period, and then when she heard this, she was astonished, both astonished and delighted and disbelieving. She exclaimed, "Would I still have Edna? Would I still have this pleasure of reproducing, of going through the process of reproducing in my old age? And my husband is an old man. Like, even though she was should have been well past it, she has also wanted to put part of the blame on her husband, and that is the way of women. Even the greatest women who ever lived, such as Sarah, and Sarah was one of them." And in Johnson County, in the northwest center, we have a place named Edna. As we said, we're still in Johnson County. We have a place named Hagarville. Hagarville, once again, was the Egyptian concubine of Abraham, and she was a rival to Sarah. So we have two places connected to Sarah. And then we have Jamestown. Jamestown is a form of the name Jacob. We have Mount Zion. Once again, in the southwest, we have Lafayette County, where we have a place named Shiloh. Lawrence County, we have Denton, named after Dan, and Lee County to the east center, we have a place named Canaan, a place named Dansby after Dan. We have Gil. Gil in Hebrew means happy, rejoicing. We have Mariana. Mariana is a form of Miriam. And we have New Salem. New Salem was another name for Jerusalem. In Lincoln County in the southeast, we have Nebo. Once again, Nebo in the territory of Gad. We have Palmyra. Palmyra was a settlement otherwise known in Hebrew as Tadmor. And it is mentioned in the Bible, in the book of Chronicles, actually Tadmor. And it was in the area that, technically in the territory of Manasseh. In Little River County to the southwest, we have Jacksile. Jack is a form of Jacob, and the place named Temple. In Logan County to the west, we have places named Dublin and Paris, different names recalling different nations, also to be found in Arkansas. In the center, we have Lona County, where we have England, and then we have Evans State, and we have Holland, and we have Mount Carmel State. Mount Carmel is named after Mount Carmel in the land of Israel, and it was in the territory of Ashur. It was where Eliyahu had his confrontation with the false prophets of the Baal. In the northwest, we have Madison County, where we have a place named Ashur. Ashur was an Israelite tribe. Marion County in the north, we have Dodge City. Dodge, as we said before, or is similar to Daud, and it could be a form of David. It is how David is written, and could also be pronounced in ancient Hebrew. In the northeast, we have Mississippi County, where we have a place named Carmi. Carmi was a clan in the tribe of Reuben. We have Dean's Island, and Dean is the form of Dan, and we have New Salem. Salem was a name for Jerusalem. In Monroe County in the east, we have Duncan from Dan. We have Eden. Eden was a name, as well as apart from the Garden of Eden, there was also a place named Eden, or the House of Eden in the north, in the region of Manasseh, bordering on that of Ashur. In Nevada County in the southwest, we have Davidson. David is named after David, King David, and Emet. Emet in Hebrew means truth. We have Mount Moriah, named after Jerusalem. In Newton County in the northwest, we have Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur was a noble from Judah. We have Jasper, a place named Jasper. Jasper is a precious stone. In Hebrew, it is Yaspe or Yaspe. And this is a sacred stone on the breastplate, the sacred stone pertaining to the tribe of Benjamin. We also have in Newton County a place named Mount Judea, named after Judah. We have Shiloh, which was in a place named Shiloh, which was in Ephraim. And we have Ukata County in the south. We have a place named Ami. Ami means my people in Hebrew. There's a term destined to be applied to the lost 10 tribes of Israel, as we're told in Hosea chapter 1. We also have Salem, which was a name for Jerusalem. In Perry County in the south, we have Antioch, once again another place named Antioch, which was in the north. It was in the region pertaining to Ashur, Manasseh, and Dan, the northern section of Dan. They intermixed in that region. And we have another place that's connected to biblical place names such as Adonai, Abba, Nimrod. In Pike County to the southwest, we have different places also connected with the biblical locations. We have Lodi, we have Mount Moriah, and Moriah is another name for Jerusalem. We have Nathan. Nathan was a prophet in the Bible. He was possibly the son of David. He ministered to David. We have Pisgah, once again another place named Pisgah. Pisgah is also known as Mount Nebo. It's in the territory of Gad. From there Moses saw the promised land. It was also one of the sites upon which Brit-Am made his prophetic predictions, see Numbers 23. Many of these predictions were to be fulfilled by the 10 tribes in the place of exile. Also, we have in Pike County, that we are speaking of, we have a place called Salem. Salem was another name for Jerusalem. In the northeast of Arkansas, we have a place named Goulet, and a place called Macdaniel. Macdaniel is from Dan. We have Mount Olives, once again, from Mount Olives in Jerusalem. In Polk County, in the west center of Arkansas, we have Bethel Chapel. Bethel is to be found in both Ephraim and Benjamin. In Polk County, in the center northwest, we have another place named Bethel. We have a place named Shiloh and a place named Simpson. Simpson is another name for Samson. Samson was was from the tribe of Dan, and he is a very prominent character in the Old Testament tale. In the Old Testament accounts, Samson is very important, and I think the story of Samson should be studied more, because a lot of things are not clear about it, and it is very illuminating. In Perry County, in the east center of Arkansas, we have a place named Beulah. Once again, Beulah, another name for the land of Israel, the time of redemption. See Isaiah 62:4, where it says, "You shall no more be called forsaken, neither shall your land any more be called desolate, but you shall be called Hephzibah." In other words, a place that I have desire of, and your land, Beulah. Beulah in Hebrew means having been possessed by a woman, having been possessed by her husband. Your land. So in other words, God is saying that once more he will take possession of the people of Israel and the land of Israel, and they shall be married. For the land delighted in you, and your land shall be married. That is what it says. That's what the Bible says, and this is the language that the Bible uses. In Pulaski County, in the center, we have a place named Alexander, a place named Britain, a place called Jacksonville. Jacksonville is named after Jack, as the form of Jacob. We have a place named Levi. Levi was an Israelite tribe. We have Zion Hill. Zion was part of Jerusalem. In the northeast, we have Randolph County. Once again, Antioch, a place named Dan after Dan. We have Old Siloam. Siloam is the name of a pool in Jerusalem, which was mentioned in the New Testament as having medicinal properties. And we have a place named Palestine. Palestine means the land of Israel, the promised land, and not present-day Palestinians. It is no association. So-called Palestinians are actually Arab intruders and squatters and so on that came in from elsewhere, and they are not supposed to be in that region. In the east of Arkansas, we have St. Francis County, where we have Macedonia, with Palestine, once again another place named Palestine. We have Shenandoah, we have Shiloh. Shiloh was in Ephraim. We have a place named Tarsis. Tarsis was in Asher. It was in the northwest of the land of Israel. It was either in Asher or in a section belonging to Dan, and it sometimes could be confused. Tarsus is also known as Tarsis, and there was another place known as Tarsis or Tarshish in the southwest of Spain. And both areas, both places are named in the Bible, the Old Testament, and both of them have significance. In the west we have Scott County, we have Denton, and the name may be linked to Dan. We have Lewis, which is a form of Levi, and in the southeast we have Sevier County, and Avon, place named Avon. We have a place named Avon. Beth-Adam was near Ephraim, near Bethel, in Benjamin. We have a place named Lebanon. Lebanon was part of the territory of Ashur. In the northeast we have Stone County, we have Ben. Ben is short for Benjamin. In the south we have Union County. We have a place named Caledonia. Caledonia in Scotland was named after Gilead, which is another way of saying Gilead. Caledonians were related to the Galadii in Gaul, and we also have a related name, Galadon, in Wales. And these names and these peoples living in them were related, and they all relate or associated with Gilead, the son of Manasseh from Israel. We have a place named Tubal in Union County. In Banbury County in the centre north we have a place named Damascus. Damascus is in Syria. It's in the territory of Manasseh. We have Denard, named after Dan. We have Scotland, and we have Zion Hill. Zion is in Jerusalem. In the northwest we have Washington County, Evansville. Evansville is a name, is a biblical name. Even or Evan it means a plain. And it's also a place name we find. We also have Goshen, and Goshen was in Egypt, but it was later part of the territory of Judah, with the mountain of olives also there. And we have Harmon. Harmon is similar to Hermon. Hermon is a mountainous range in the northern of Israel. In the centre east we have White County. Albion means Britain, and the name derives from Lebanon, another place named Antioch. Doniphan are named after Dan. Sidon, the place named Sidon. Sidon was a Phoenician city on the coast of Lebanon, the territory of Ashur. In the Yale County in the centre west we have Bethel, another place named Bethel. And Danville named after Dan, and Dardanville, and Mount Nebo, once again Mount Nebo, which was in the territory of Gad, and Pisgah, also Pisgah in the territory of Gad. Pisgah and Nebo were two names for the same area or adjacent areas. So this is it, is what all the names, or most of the names we have for Arkansas. And Arkansas has a lot of place names, and in every county we went through. In Arkansas has several biblical place names. Most of the tribes of Israel were mentioned or named in association with these place names. For instance, Naphtali, Zebulon, Issachar, Gad, Judah, Asher, Dan, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin. On the whole, we can say that the tribes of Asher and Manasseh are predominant, with Dan and Ephraim as close runners up. So that is it. That's what we have for Arkansas. I hope this has been of interest to you. I think it is important. May God bless all of you. This is Yair Davidiy. I've been speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am Hebrew Nations, and I've been speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Thank you.